The median household income in America, right now, is $84,000 a year. That's two people working full-time. That's a combined 80 hours a week of showing up, grinding, and doing everything right. And here's the number. Nobody tells you about that 84,000. It's not enough. Not in most American cities. Not for a house, not for a family, not even for what used to be considered a completely unremarkable, perfectly average, nothing special life. And the terrifying part isn't that it's not enough. The terrifying part is that almost no financial expert, no politician, no employer will say that out loud. They'll tell you to budget better, cut the subscriptions, stop eating out so much, as if the problem is your lot, and not the fact that a normal life now costs more than most people earn. Today, we're going to do something radical. We're going to calculate, with actual numbers in actual cities, exactly what salary you need to live a genuinely normal life in 2026. Not wealthy, not comfortable, normal, groceries, rent, a used car, maybe one vacation a year, a retirement account that won't make you cry. So let's get into it. Let me show you what normal used to cost. In 1990, the median home price was $79,000. The median household income was $30,000. That's a ratio of 2.6 to 1. You needed 2.5 years of income to buy the median house. In 2026, the median home price is around $420,000. Median household income, $84,000. That's a ratio of 5 to 1. You now need 5 full years of your entire household income, before taxes, before food, before existing, just to match the price of an average house. And that's just housing. Since 1990, childcare costs have increased 214%. Health insurance premiums are up 340%. College tuition at public universities, up 388%. Rent in major metros, up over 200% in the last 15 years alone. Meanwhile, wages, up about 180% over that same 35-year period. Everything you need to live a normal life has outpaced your paycheck, not by a little, by a lot, and by a lot for a long time. Here's the question nobody in a suit wants to answer. What does a genuinely normal life actually cost in 2026? Not the dream, not the highlight reel, just normal. And what salary do you actually need to afford it without spending every night staring at the ceiling, doing math that doesn't work out? We're about to find out, and I promise you, the number is going to make you feel something. Let's build the real budget. We're not going to use fantasy numbers. We're going to price out a genuinely normal life, 1 bedroom per person, a reliable used car, real groceries, real healthcare, in a representative mid-tier American city. Not San Francisco, not rural Alabama, somewhere in the middle. Think Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, Kansas City. Here's what normal actually costs per month in 2026. Housing, a 3-bedroom home or apartment in a safe neighborhood, will run you $1,800 to $2,200 a month. If you're renting, if you're buying, that payment is closer to $2,600. We'll use $2,000 as our baseline. Conservative. Transportation. 1 reliable used car. Not new, not fancy. Insurance, gas, maintenance, $650 a month. If you have 2 adults who both commute, you can double that. We'll stick with $650. Groceries. The USDA's moderate food plan for a family of 4 is $1,100 a month. For a single adult, it's around $400. We'll model a 2-adult household, $800 a month. Healthcare. Even with an employer, you're paying premiums, co-pays, deductibles. That's $510 a month. And that assumes nothing goes wrong. Utilities, electricity, gas, water, internet, and your phone, $350 a month. Childcare. If you have 1 child in daycare, the national average is over $1,200 in a mid-tier city. Call it $1,000. This is probably the number that broke your brain just now. We'll come back to this. Student loans, average payment, $400. Retirement savings, 15% of your gross income. We'll include that as a cost of normal life, because retiring on nothing isn't normal. It's a crisis. Let's add this up. Housing, 2,000, car, 650, food, 800, healthcare, 510, utilities, 350, student loans, 400, one child in daycare, 1,000. That's $5,710 a month in baseline expenses. Before clothing, before a haircut, before a dentist appointment, before a single dinner out, before Christmas, before the emergency that will absolutely happen. Add a modest $500 buffer, you're at $6,210 a month in real expenses. Now, here's where the math turns brutal. That's what you need to take home after taxes, which means you need to earn somewhere between $90,000 and $105,000 a year in gross income, just to cover a genuinely normal, nothing special life. And that's before saving 15% for retirement. Add the retirement savings, you're looking at a required gross income of $105,000 to $125,000 a year, just to be normal. The median household income is $84,000. That gap between what normal costs and what most people earn is $21,000 to $41,000 a year, and it's not getting smaller. Let me show you what this looks like as a real person. Meet Jordan, 34 years old, works in healthcare administration in Charlotte, North Carolina, makes $72,000 a year, above the median, by the way, has a 720 credit score, $8,000 in savings, and no credit card debt. Jordan is doing a lot of things right. Jordan's take-home pay, after federal taxes, state taxes, and a modest 401k contribution, is about $4,400 a month. Jordan's expenses, living normally by any reasonable definition, are $5,200 a month, every single month. Jordan is $800 in the hole before anything unexpected happens. And unexpected things happen. The transmission goes. The tooth needs a root canal. The kid's school needs a laptop. The landlord raises rent $150 because they can. These aren't disasters. These are just Tuesday. Jordan isn't bad with money. Jordan doesn't have a spending problem. Jordan has an income problem. Specifically, Jordan has the math has been broken for a decade and nobody said anything. Problem. And here's what makes this story the one that should keep you up at night. Jordan is not the bottom of the income distribution. Jordan is above average. If Jordan is underwater, what does that make the 50% of Americans earning less than Jordan? It means tens of millions of people aren't just struggling, they're losing ground every single month by simply existing. Now here's the part that most people in finance won't say out loud, because it makes the system look bad, and the system employs a lot of people who make content about money. This isn't a personal finance problem, it's a structural math problem. And the personal finance industry, the budgeting apps, the Dave Ramsey types, the just cut your subscriptions crowd, has a profound financial incentive to convince you it's the first kind. Because if it's a personal problem, they can sell you a solution. If it's a structural problem, they can't. But look at the actual numbers. Between 2019 and 2024, corporate profits in the U.S. increased by 57%. In that same period, median wages increased by 26%. The productivity of American workers, meaning how much value each person generates per hour of work, has increased by over 60% since 1979. Real wages for the median worker up about 15% over that same period. Workers are producing more than ever. They are capturing less of what they produce than at almost any point in modern American history. The gap between what a normal life costs and what a normal salary provides isn't an accident. It isn't a bug in the system. It's the output of 40 years of policy decisions that consistently prioritized asset owners over wage earners. Houses cost 5 years of income because we decided, as a society, that housing is an investment asset rather than a basic human need. Childcare costs $1,200 a month because we're one of the only wealthy nations in the world that treats childcare as a private market expense rather than a public good. Healthcare eats 8% of your gross income because our system is structurally designed to extract maximum revenue at every point of contact. None of this is accidental, and none of it is your fault. But here's the part that matters for you, specifically, right now. Understanding that the system is broken doesn't pay your rent. So, what do you actually do with this information? Here's the uncomfortable but necessary truth. If the system requires $105,000 to $125,000 to live a normal life, and you're earning $70,000, you have a few levers, and they are not make a budget or stop buying things you enjoy. The first lever is location arbitrage. The budget we ran was for a mid-tier American city. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, that same life costs about 28% less. In Boise, Idaho, 18% less. In Greenville, South Carolina, 22% less. If your job is remote, and 28% of American jobs now are, geography is a financial decision, not just a lifestyle one. Moving from Charlotte to Greenville on the same salary is worth $15,000 to $20,000 a year in purchasing power. That's a raise. Without asking your boss for anything, the second lever is income maximization. And I don't mean start a side hustle. I mean getting ruthlessly strategic about your primary income. Data consistently shows that the biggest single income jumps come from changing employers, not from waiting for raises at the same company. The average raise at the same company is 3 to 4%. The average salary increase from switching jobs is 10 to 20%. That $84,000 job that isn't cutting it might be a $98,000 job somewhere else. Same skills, same hours, better math. The third lever, and this is the one most people in the squeeze completely overlook, is the investment gap. If you're earning $84,000 and can find $500 a month to invest at 8% annual return in 25 years, that's $474,000. The math of the system is working against your paycheck, but it is absolutely working for your investments, if you can get any. Even a small position in the market lets you participate in the corporate profit growth that's been outpacing wages for 40 years. You can't beat the system by working harder inside it. You can partly beat it by owning a small piece of it. None of these three things is easy. All of them are real, and all of them are more impactful than cutting your Netflix subscription. Because here's the thing, the latte factor crowd will never tell you. You can't save your way out of a $30,000 income gap. You can only grow your way out of it through income, geography, or investment returns. Probably all three. Look, there's a version of this video that ends by telling you it's all fine. The economy will sort itself out. Just keep grinding and believe in yourself. I'm not going to insult you with that. The salary you need to live a genuinely normal life in 2026 is probably $30,000 to $40,000 more than what most people earn. That's not a rounding error. That's not a lifestyle problem. That's a structural gap that has been widening for decades and will not fix itself by Thursday. But here's what I need you to hold on to. Understanding that the math is broken is not the same as accepting that your future is broken. The people who navigate this economy successfully aren't doing it by working twice as hard or by being lucky. They're doing it by understanding exactly how the numbers actually work and making intentional decisions inside a system that wasn't designed in their favor. That means knowing what you actually need to earn, not what feels like enough. It means treating your income as the variable it is, not the fixed fact your employer wants you to think it is. It means starting to invest, even when the amount feels embarrassingly small, because the math that's working against your wages can work for your investments. The gap is real, the frustration is valid, and you are not falling behind because you're doing something wrong. You're navigating a system that has genuinely made normal life more expensive than a normal salary can cover. The first step to changing your outcome in that system is seeing it clearly, which, if you made it to the end of this video, you now do. That's worth something. The uncomfortable truth, if a six-figure income is starting to feel average, then this isn't just a personal finance story anymore. It's a middle-class story. Because when the cost of a normal life rises faster than normal incomes, the middle class doesn't stay the middle class for very long. If you want to understand where you actually stand in that shift, watch this next.